So they're facing economic troubles. Guess who is not affected by any of this? The Chinese military, it seems. The PLA faces no cash crunch. It has no intention of stopping its activities around Taiwan. The Chinese military has promised regular patrols around the island. The US has finally decided to respond militarily. Yesterday, the US tested a nuclear missile. In the coming weeks, American forces will conduct operations around Taiwan. Will this raise the threat of a war? Here's a report.
America is firing missiles again. The US Air Force has tested the Minuteman III. This is an intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM. It can carry a nuclear weapon, too. America was supposed to test it in the beginning of August, but it was delayed. The reason was US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. Reports say Washington didn't want to anger Beijing, but it didn't matter. China's response to Pelosi's visit was fierce. Beijing mobilized the PLA. Chinese soldiers were asked to simulate attacks on Taiwan, and Chinese missiles flew over the island for the first time. The message from China is clear. It won't back down from claiming Taiwan. So the US is sending a message of its own. The American Air Force said this was a regular missile test and not a response to recent events. But it wasn't lost on the observers. America was showing off its nuclear readiness. The missile was launched from a base in California. It was fired into the Pacific Ocean. Washington is planning more military operations closer to Taiwan. In the coming weeks, the US forces will conduct air and naval operations in the Taiwan Straits. There is a clear intent behind this. The US wants to reaffirm freedom of navigation in the waters near Taiwan.
Clearly, the PRC is trying to coerce Taiwan. Clearly, they're trying to coerce the international community. And all I'll say is we're not going to take the bait, and it's not going to work. So it's a manufactured crisis. That doesn't mean we have to play into that. I think it would only play to Beijing's advantage. What we'll do instead is to continue to fly, to sail, and to operate wherever international law allows us to do so.
But Beijing has refused to back down. Chinese claims go well beyond the island of Taiwan. Beijing also claims control of the Taiwan Strait. China is promising a firm response to America's actions.
Pelosi's visit to Taiwan under the US connivance and arrangement is retrogressive practice that seriously violated China's sovereignty, severely infringed on China's internal affairs, and gravely undermined peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait. China must make a firm response. Our position is legitimate, reasonable, and lawful. Our actions are resolute, strong, and proportionate.
China's vows of retaliation should be taken seriously. It is keeping the threat of war over Taiwan alive.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.